Hi, it's Leslie Fightmaster, and this is our first class back after our 90-day challenge. Today's class is a long, slow Vinyasa morning flow that was requested by Becca Matea. So hands together, take a moment to create your intention for your practice. Remember, all intentions are always welcome. We'll begin this practice on our backs. So I have a blanket that I'm putting right at the bottom tips of my shoulder blades, about right where the bra strap would go across for the ladies. And then 2 blocks, one on either side of my thighs. I'm just going to relax back here for a few breaths. This allows me to get some opening in the upper back, which isn't the easiest to do. And then with my soles of the feet together and the knees apart, I get a little stretch in the outer hips and the inner thighs. And I've got my arms kind of in a goalpost shape. So the elbows are bent. And I'm just relaxing and breathing. So as you're here, begin your Ujjayi pranayama, breathing in and out through your nose. Take a moment scanning your body. See how it is feeling today. It is always important to practice in the body that we have today. So never expecting too much or too little, but just where we are. So move all of that stuff out of the way. And then feet hips width apart, and then draw your right knee into your chest, extend your left leg out, circle the right ankle in one direction, and then reverse it. And extend the right leg up toward the ceiling. Keep the left leg active, so point the toes right up to the ceiling, and flex that left ankle. And you can hold on to the right leg anywhere you like, but hold it somewhere as you start to straighten the knee. Now rebend the knee, take the right knee over to the left side and turn to look over your right shoulder. Continuing that nice steady Ujjayi breathing. And then back to center. Draw the left knee into the chest as you extend the right leg out and circle the left ankle in one direction. And then reverse it. And extend the left leg up toward the ceiling. So again, hold on to the left leg anywhere you like, below the knee, above the knee, maybe even grab the toe. But hold on to it someplace so that you can create a little resistance as you stretch out the hamstrings, the backs of the thighs. And then bend the left knee. And we'll take it over to the right side for a twist. And then looking over the left shoulder. Just a nice gentle twist as we start to warm up the spine. And then back to center. And draw both knees into the chest and rock a little here side to side. Rolling to the right, and then we'll press ourselves up. And come right onto your hands and knees, wrists under shoulders and knees under hips. As you inhale, bring your chest forward, lift your chin, lift your tailbone up. As you exhale, press away from the floor, round your back, draw your belly in. And again, inhale to come forward, lifting the chin, lifting the tailbone. Exhale, press away from the floor, chin toward chest, rounding the back. Inhale. Heart through the gates of the arms, widening the collarbones. Exhale, and round the back, tucking the tailbone gently. Take the hips back to the heels into an extended child's pose. So reaching the arms forward. As your hips go back towards your heels, stretch out the spine. If it doesn't feel good to take the hips all the way back, then just stay up on your knees a little bit more. And then walk the hands forward and come back up to table, shifting your hips forward. Lower all the way down to the mat. Come onto the tops of your feet, press all the toenails down, peel the chest up for cobra. And then come back to the knees and make your way into child's pose with the arms extended. And then come on up to the knees and stretch back into your downward facing dog. Begin to bicycle your legs, bending one knee and the other. And be sure that your arms are shoulders distance apart and your feet are hips width. And then reach both heels toward the floor as you extend through your spine. Spread your fingers wide and root into the base of your fingers as you lift up through your forearms. And then press the weight up toward the hips, reach it down toward the heels. Come back to the knees and make your way back into child's pose. Again, stretching out the spine. Inhale back to the knees. Shift forward about an inch or two, lower all the way down with your elbows hugging into the floor. Then inhale again for cobra. Peel the chest up, pull the chest forward, tailbone toward the heels. Exhale, press up to the knees, and stretch back again into child's pose for just a breath. And then back up onto the knees. Tuck the toes under and stretch into down dog. If you want to continue bicycling your legs a little bit longer, please feel free to do that. Otherwise, we're settling into the down dog and just focusing on the breath, making sure the inhales and the exhales are equal in length. Keeping a steady gazing point. Keep your ears and arms in the same line, and then you'll gaze between the feet or between the knees. And inhales and exhales, again, equal in length. Inhale, come forward, take the knees to the floor, and then stretch back again into child's pose. So this sequence is just a nice way to gently greet the day. Come back up onto the knees, shift forward, hug your elbows in as you lower all the way back to the mat. Inhale. Little cobra pose, or maybe a higher one. If that hurts your back, stay with the low cobra. Roll the shoulder heads back, lower back down. Pressing up to the knees again. Tuck your toes under, stretch all the way back into down dog. Reach the heels toward the floor. If you can, straighten your legs. Pull up on your kneecaps, firm your quadricep muscles, the big muscles in your thighs. Spin your inner thighs back. Inhale, right leg back and up, and then bend your knee, opening up the hip. And just stretching through that right side. And then make a couple circles with your whole leg. Knee is bent. And then step it all the way forward. Take your left knee to the floor. Pull the right hip back and sink your hips forward as you reach up through your arms. Pull the right hip back and send the left hip forward. And try and drop your tailbone down. Hands on either side of the front foot. Now straighten the front leg. As you exhale, fold forward over your straight front leg. Keep pulling that right hip back. If your left knee needs padding, put a blanket or a pillow under there. Again, bend the right knee, sinking forward. Make sure that your right knee stays over your ankle and it points right over the second toe. Spin your triceps forward as you lift up. Hands back to the floor on either side of the front foot and fold forward. If you can't reach the floor, you can rest your hands on your leg or maybe on blocks if you happen to have yoga blocks or something you can use as yoga blocks. Rebend the right knee, reach up again, spin your triceps forward. As you stretch up through the arms, lengthen all four sides of your waist and draw your shoulder blades down toward the waist. And bring the hands back to the mat one more time. Straighten the leg, fold forward. Still pulling the right hip back as you do. And then rebend it, tuck your back toes, and come to plank. Lower through chaturanga. Knees can be up or down. Inhaling up dog or cobra. And then exhale back into downward dog. Left leg up, bend the knee and open up your hip. And pressing evenly, and maybe make a couple circles here just to stretch out that left hip a little more. And then step it all the way through by the left hand, taking the right knee to the floor, pulling your left hip back as you sink in. Make sure the left knee again is over the ankle and it points straight ahead. So it's over the middle toes on that left foot. And then stretch up through all four sides of your waist, but pull your front ribs in. Hands to the floor or blocks. Exhale, straighten the left leg and fold forward. Pull the left hip back as you do. And then rebend your front knee. Sink forward, lift up through the arms. Still pulling the left hip back. And then hands back to the floor, straighten the leg, fold forward. Take a couple breaths here, nice, long, smooth ujjayi breaths in and out through the nose. And rebend the knee. And sweep your arms up, spinning your triceps forward, pulling your left hip back and sending your right hip forward. And then release back to the floor, straightening the left leg and folding forward into Ardha Hanumanasana, half split. Rebend the front knee, tuck your back toes, come to plank. You can take your knees down here if you like. Shift forward about an inch, lower all the way to the floor. And then we'll interlace the fingers and lift up into Shalabhasana. So reaching the knuckles toward the heels, spin the inner thighs toward the ceiling like you're holding a block between the thighs, and make sure the back of your neck stays long. And release and rest. And then we're going to take the same pose in a moment. So re-interlace with the other pinky on top, lifting everything up again, Shalabhasana. Draw your belly in, lightly press your pubic bone down into the floor so that you can reach the sitting bones toward the heels. And then come down and rest. Hands by the rib cage. Inhale, press into up dog or cobra, and then exhale. Tuck the toes, downward facing dog. Keep a steady gaze between the knees or feet, stretching back. And look forward. Either step or walk your feet up to the front. Take an inhale to lengthen the spine. As you exhale, fold forward. Bend the knees as you need to. Inhale, press through the feet, come up with a long spine, reach all the way up, and then exhale, hands to the heart. Come all the way to the front of the mats. Inhale, sweep your arms up. Exhale, hinge from your hips and fold forward. Inhale, come halfway up, hands to shins, lengthening the spine. Exhale, bend the knees, plant the palms, step back into plank pose. Knees can be down as you lower, shoulders no lower than the elbows. On your inhale, press up into up dog or stay with the low cobra. If you're in up dog, thighs and knees off the floor. Exhale, tuck the toes, stretch into downward dog. And just take a couple breaths here as you return to your steady breathing. If at any time you want to break, take your knees down and take a rest in child's pose. But every time we return to the breath, we can become present again in that moment. Look forward, either step or walk your feet up. As you inhale, lengthen the spine. As you exhale, fold forward, keep your belly pulled in. And inhale, press down through the feet, come all the way up, reach up. Exhale, hands to the heart. Again, inhale, circle your arms up. Exhale, fold forward, hinging at the hips. Inhale, come halfway up, look up and lengthen. Exhale, bend the knees, plant the palms, step into plank pose. And lower knees down or not. Shift forward, chaturanga, all the way to the floor. Inhale, little cobra or right into up dog. And then exhale back to the knees. Tuck the toes, downward dog. So that's a modified sun salutation. You can do those all the time if that's better for you. If you're looking for a little more challenge, you can always add an extra chaturanga. So you can step back, chaturanga, up dog, back to plank, chaturanga, down dog. Look forward, step or hop your feet. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, fold with a nice long spine. Inhale, press through your feet, reach all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart, samastitihi. So turning one way or the other on your mats, turn your right leg all the way out, your back toes in a little, line up your front heel and back arch. As you exhale, come to warrior two. Make sure your right knee is over your ankle, and again it points right over those middle toes. Drop your front hip down and to lift your chest. Gaze over your front fingertips, and inhale, straighten the right leg, reach the arms. As you exhale, bend in again into warrior two. We'll do this a few times. Linking our breath and our movement is a wonderful way to start the day. Inhale, straightening the right leg, stretch up through the arms. Exhale, rebend the knee over the ankle, point it straight ahead. Gazing over the fingertips. Keep your low belly lifted. Your back inner thigh spinning up gently toward the ceiling. Now we'll drop the left arm reverse, rebend your front knee. Inhale, come back up to warrior two. Straighten the leg, turn your left leg all the way out, your back toes in, make sure your heel to arch, and then bend your left knee over the ankle, pointing it straight ahead. Back arm as high as your front arm. Drop your front hip down, the left hip's dropping down toward the floor. Inhale, straighten the left leg, arms up. Exhale, bend into the left knee. Gazing over the fingertips again. Inhale, straighten the leg, reach up through the arms. Exhale, bend in again to warrior two. Come back to your steady breathing. Inhale and reverse your warrior. Exhale, bend into the left knee, get a nice side stretch. Inhale to come up, straighten the leg. Take your feet to parallel, toes point in a little bit toward each other. Arms to a T as you inhale, and then interlace your fingers behind you, open the chest. As you're exhaling, come forward. And just take the arms any amount. Crown of the head might touch down on the floor, might not, doesn't really matter. But make sure that the weight is even in your feet. So if your legs are straight, shift your weight toward the balls of your feet so that your hips are right above the heels. Inhale, slowly come up and release the hands. Turn your right leg all the way out, the back toes in again, line up heel to arch. Once again, take the arms to a T. Shift your hips toward the back of the mat, lean toward the front of the mat. Just lean, and you're looking toward the back of the mat. Inhale to come back up, and we'll do it again. Shift the hips, this time look forward as you extend as far forward as you can, hinging from that hip. Inhale back up, And exhale. Again, shift the hips back as you lean forward, get as long as you can. Then take your right hand down, lift your left arm up. Press right into the base of the big toe of the right foot. Reach your left arm forward in line with your ear and sweep the left arm down. Take it behind your back or reach around and hook it onto the right thigh, rolling your top shoulder back. Keep pressing your calf toward your shin as you lean your torso back a little bit so that it's right directly above the right leg. Inhale, come up. Feet back to parallel, and then turn the left leg all the way out, back toes in, heel to arch, arms to a T. Shift the hips, lean toward the back of the mat, looking toward the front of the mat. Get nice and long here, keep your belly pulled in. Inhale to come up, and again, shifting the hips back, lean, lean, lean forward. Get as much length as you can. Inhale back up, and once more shift the hips. Lean forward, keep leaning forward, get as much length in the bottom side of the torso as you can, and then take your left hand down, stretch up through the right arm, looking toward the right fingertips unless it bothers your neck. Exhale, reach the right arm forward in line with your ear, and then sweep the right arm down, take it behind you, either resting at the low back or hook it onto the thigh, rolling the top shoulder back. Try to bring your bottom ribs forward and spin the top ribs up toward the ceiling, almost like a little twist in the torso. Inhale, come on back up. Take the feet to parallel, arms up on the inhale. Exhale, interlace your fingers with the other pinky on top if you can remember. Open the chest, inhale. Exhale, folding forward again into Prasarita Padottanasana, C. Try to firm your outer hips in toward the midline. And your inner thighs are squeezing gently toward each other as well. Shift the weight slightly forward. Inhale, come on up. And then step back to the front of your mat, back into Samastitihi. And we'll do some balancing. Tree pose, right foot up, take it anywhere above or below your knee. Draw the left hip in. Keep one spot to focus on. Sweep the arms up when you're ready. Try and drop the right hip down any amount. Spin the triceps forward. Keep reaching up through the arms and then extend that leg forward. Hold it up, drop the outer right hip down slightly. Breathing here, nice steady breathing. And release it down. Get right foot down. We'll pick up the left foot, taking it anywhere above or below your knee. Keep a steady drishti or gazing point so that it helps you to keep your balance. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Spin the triceps forward, stretch up nice and tall. And again, draw the right hip in towards center as you drop the left hip down now, any amount. And then point the knee to the front, extend that leg, keep the shoulders right above your hips. Drop the outer left hip down. Use your belly muscles to hold that leg up. And release. So bend the knees into chair pose and take your feet a little bit wider, like maybe hips width or a little closer than that. Pick up your left foot and then step it back into a lunge with the right knee over the ankle. So make sure you stepped back far enough. Drop the tailbone down, take the arms to a T, reach your right arm back and extend the left arm forward so you're in a twist. And then lean forward, bend the left elbow, and hook it across for your twist. Pull your right hip back. Try and press your palms right in toward the center of your chest as you roll your top shoulder back. And then back the way we came. Reach the arms out with that little twist. Inhale to come all the way up to center. Exhale, lift that leg. Oops, bring it forward. And then set it back down. I lost it a little bit there. That happens. So left foot down. We'll pick up the right foot now. Both knees are bending. Step that right foot back, finding crescent pose. Make sure the left knee is over the ankle. And pull the left hip back. Stretch up through the arms. Drop your tailbone down. Arms to a T, left arm back, right arm forward for your twist. So you're stretching out through those arms and then leaning forward. We'll take the right arm across and twist. Palms pressing together. And press the thumbs toward the center of the chest. Try and roll your left shoulder back and continue to pull the left hip back and drop it down. Come back the way we came. Reach the arms out into that gentler twist. Gentle but challenging, and then face the front arms up. Step that right foot forward, find your balance, both knees bent, and then Utkatasana. Fold forward from here. Take your feet hips distance apart. Take the big toes with the first two fingers. Inhale to lengthen, exhale, fold into Padangustasana. You can bend the knees here as needed, or if you prefer to keep the legs straight and hang forward holding the opposite elbows, that's an option. Keep reaching the crown of the head toward the floor. Then lengthen, inhale, and step back into plank pose. Lower slowly to chaturanga. Knees can be down there. Inhale, pressing into up dog or cobra, and then onto your knees. Walk your hands forward, and we'll stretch the chest back toward the thighs, keeping your hips up in the air. Hips are directly above the knees. So this is a great shoulder stretch. So outer upper arms, the triceps are spinning down toward the floor, away from your ears. The inner arms, the forearms, and the thumb and first finger side of the hand are pressing firmly down. Then we'll come up right onto the forearms and interlace your fingers. Tuck your toes and come into dolphin. Walk the feet up a little if you can, and press down onto the elbows and the forearms as you lift up through the shoulders. Gaze between the knees or feet. Keep your breath steady here. And then we'll come down to take a rest. It's a child's pose. I'm resting my head on my hands this time just because it feels nice. And then we'll set up for dolphin again. Make sure the elbows don't go wider than your shoulders. Interlace the fingers. You can put the other pinky on top if you like. Tuck the toes, lift the hips into dolphin. Stretch back and lengthen. Reach the heels toward the floor. Breathing nice and steady breath. And keep the belly drawing in and up here. Lifting the shoulders as you firm down through the forearms and the elbows. Then step back about a foot. Ripple your spine forward so that your shoulders and your hips are about the same line. If it's too difficult, take your knees down. Otherwise, lift the backs of your knees up. Reach the crown of your head forward. Try not to let the head drop. Lift the hips. Walk your feet back into dolphin. Breathing here, and then take the knees back down for a little rest again in child's pose. A short rest. Come back to the knees. Tuck the toes for downward facing dog. If you would love to take a vinyasa here, you could inhale to plank and exhale through chaturanga. Up dog, down dog, and then step or hop through and sit. Lie on your back. We'll set up for bridge pose. So heels right underneath the knees. Make sure the outer edges of your feet are parallel. As you're ready, you'll press into the heels. Lift the hips, the low back and mid back, maybe your upper back. Keep your chin away from your chest. Spiral the thighs in toward each other as if you're holding a block between your inner thighs. You can interlace the fingers or not. You can keep the hands just flat down on the floor as well. Or even bend the elbows and point the fingertips up toward the ceiling. Maybe rolling the shoulders under a little bit. And we'll come down to rest. Soles of feet together, knees apart. Supta Baddha Konasana. Just take a moment as you're here to revisit the intention that you set for your practice. And then setting up again for bridge. Come on up, roll the shoulders under, clasp the hands or not. But do reach your tailbone toward the backs of your knees and make sure the outer edges of your feet stay parallel. The feet have a tendency to turn out when we do back bend, but it's not good for our lower back for them to do it. Come on down, take a little break, soles of feet together, knees apart. Again, returning to the intention you set. Now I have a yoga block, so I'm going to use it. If you don't, you can take another bridge pose, or if you have something else, you can roll up a towel or something, put it right at the base of your spine. Supported bridge. So you know you have the block or the towel or whatever you're using in the right place when it feels really nice. There's a flat bone that goes across the base of the spine called the sacrum, and that's where you want to have the block or blanket or towel. And just steady breathing again. Now this is optional. You could extend the legs out. However, make sure you extend them straight ahead of you. And you may opt to add the arms overhead with the palms facing each other if this feels comfortable. Some people love it, some people not so much. So you can play with it and see. But we still want the legs extended like you're holding a block between the thighs. Let's rebend the knees. And bend your right knee, bend your left knee, lift both legs up toward the ceiling. So if you don't have a block or anything, you can do this right on the floor. Just keep your lower back on the floor and lift the legs straight up. It's a little inversion. Inversions are always nice for our practice. It's good to go against the effects of gravity every day, really, if we can. And then we'll release it down. Draw the knees into the chest, gently rocking side to side. And then start to rock back and forth. Coming up to seated, soles of feet together, knees apart in Baddha Konasana. Sit up nice and tall. As you exhale, hinge from the hips forward. Keep your spine long. So reach the crown of your head forward and draw your shoulder blades toward the waist. And then come up a little bit, exhale, and rounding down the forehead toward the feet, but draw the shoulders away from the ears. Inhale to come up. Now take the legs nice and wide for Upavista Konasana, sitting up tall as you inhale. You could also sit right on the edge of a blanket, and that would help to lengthen your spine if that feels better. Otherwise, you don't sit on a blanket unless you would like to. Extend forward again, reaching the crown of the head forward, keeping your spine nice and long. Keep your toes and knees pointed up toward the ceiling, and that'll firm the legs as well. And notice the spine continues to stay long, so we're leading with the chest. Come on up and take your legs together. Bend your right knee. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale forward for Janushirasana. Lengthen on the inhale. As you exhale, extend forward. Pull your left toes back. Shoulder blades release away from the ears. And head up on the inhale and release. So let's see, the left hand behind, take your right hand about to the shin or maybe above the knee, just for a little twist. As you inhale, sit up nice and tall, and as you exhale, roll your left shoulder back. Come back to center, And bend the left knee, reach the arms up, exhale, come forward. Inhale to lengthen, exhale and extend. Janushirasana. There's a little tiny twist in this one because your torso is leaning over toward the side a little to come forward. So try and get length in both sides of your torso to be equal. So you usually need a little more length in the right side on this side. Inhale to come up, and then left hand to the shin, right hand behind. Sit up tall on your inhales. Roll the right shoulder back on the exhales. And inhale, center. Move that blanket out of the way if you had it there. Come on to your back. Right ankle just above left knee for thread the needle. Bring your hands through. Hold on to the left leg, either the shin or behind the thigh. Flex your right ankle so that you have protected your knee. And we'll keep the legs in the same shape and take the legs over to the right. If it's not comfortable, you can switch your legs, but if you keep the legs in this position, you might also feel a little hip stretch. Look over the right shoulder. Inhale, center, left ankle above the right knee, and hold on to the right shin or behind the thigh. And then keeping the legs in the same shape, we'll just take them over to the right side, looking over your left shoulder. Try and let everything relax as you come into this twist. And then come on through center. I'm going to grab my blanket and roll it up and put it under my knees because I think it's really comfortable. You don't have to. But make your way into your comfortable Shavasana. So cover up if you want to cover up, or blanket under the knees like I have, or maybe a pillow under the head. And as you're here resting, I'm going to read our quote first from Sean Aker. It's a book I'm still reading called The Happiness Advantage, and I just really like it. He says, "Because in life, knowledge is only part of the battle. Without action, knowledge is often meaningless. As Aristotle put it, to be excellent, we cannot simply think or feel excellent. We must act excellently. Yet, the action required to follow through on what we know is often the hardest part." And that is very true. We all know that it's good to exercise. We all know that it's good to meditate. We all know it's good to eat healthy. But taking the action is the harder part. So if you want to make a healthy habit of practicing yoga every day, and you haven't done the Yoga Fix 90, there's a playlist on my channel, and I would love it if you tried it. Now rest, please. Start to make movements to reawaken your body. Reaching out through your fingers, toes, reach through your arms and your legs and stretch. And then bend your knees, roll off to your right side for a moment. It's pausing for gratitude. Think of something that we're grateful for. It's always good to have an attitude of gratitude. Make your way up to a comfortable seated position, hands together at your heart. Bringing the hands to the forehead, reminding us to have clear and loving thoughts. Our hands to the heart center, reminding us to have clear and loving intentions. And our hands to the mouth, reminding us to have clear and loving communications. Sending out this wonderful energy to all beings everywhere. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you liked our practice today, please push the like button and leave me a comment. If there's a class you'd like to see, let me know. Please share our classes. This is all helpful for us to try and reach as many people as we can. And because we believe that the more people who practice yoga, the happier our world will be. So if you would like to support us in that mission, there is a link below to send us a donation of any amount through PayPal. Or go to fightmasteryoga.com and push the Amazon logo. If you do any Amazon shopping, go through there. It doesn't cost you anymore. Bye-bye.